I hate videos. Now, you may be wondering, if I hate videos, what the heck am I doing here? Woohoo! Happy Friday, everyone. Um, it's that time for inspiration from Inga. I have a wonderful guest sitting in my green room waiting to be brought up. And I'm excited because I get to dive deep and hear his story with all of you. So, looking forward to that for sure. If you and I have not met yet, my name is Inge van Roy, and I am recognized as a community connection catalyst. Now, you may be wondering, what the heck does that mean? Well, I am a strategic business coach, and I help entrepreneurs and businesses focus on community because that is really where things are happening, where they're at. People are my jam. And if you know me, you will know that I am driven by the principle of Ubuntu. This means, have a look at the definition down here. Ubuntu is an ancient African word and it means humanity to others. It is often described as reminding us that I am because we are. And if you know me, you'll know that I believe that the person that I am today would not be had it not been for my community. So, thank you to all of you joining us, watching live, and also catching the replay. Please drop us a comment and let us know where you're tuning in from. Of course, we want to make sure that we weave your comments into the conversation. So please make sure you drop us a note. Before we jump in, I want to say thank you to our amazing sponsors at Africa Online Radio, where we bring you only the very best in local and international music. We are your oasis of entertainment, your Kapsa vibe. And if you don't know, my Wednesday show, which is called Wonder Women Wednesday, goes live on Africa Online Radio every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 2 hours, which is 8 p.m. South African time, because AKR is based in South Africa. If you want to check them out, please visit their website at africop.co.za. And whoo, now we've got that behind us. How about I bring on our guest and say hello? Good morning, Kareem.
Morning, Inger. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. It's
Yeah.
Friday, my favorite.
Yes, absolutely.
It's time for the weekend. Kareem, won't you please let everyone know who you are and what you do?
Okay. Where to start? Okay. So, first and foremost, I'm a dad of two. I have two daughters, 6 and 11.
Mm.
I'm a realtor by trade, but I'm a people person by heart. So, I do a lot of workshops for kids, ages 6 and up, even younger, even older. I'm also part of a networking group called Next 10, where we actually deal with adults that are in their careers, looking to maybe further their business, maybe even down to health and love, whatever, health and wellness, you name it. So what we do is we talk about how they're going to deal with the next 10 years of their life, and we're starting from year zero and we're trying to plan it out for the next 10 years. So I do it all, man. A jack of all trades. I like I said, I'm a people person. I play basketball. I love working with people. I love just all things encompassing helping others. Basically, is what my main thing is. So that's me in a nutshell.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you. I want to say, let's before we jump in, I want to actually ask you about the next 10 because I'm also part of it, and
Absolutely.
I'd like you to share a little bit more about it because, our next event is coming up. It's in a
Hmm.
few weeks. Tell us a little bit more. What happens in these in-person events, and then also there are some online ones that are happening in between, right?
Right. So what next 10 is, as mentioned, what we do is we talk about the next 10 years of your life. So what is something that you've always wanted to do, but you never really had the chance to get started?
Mm,
Or something you always wanted to do, but just never took the attempt to get to that point. So what we do is we talk about how we can get you started on the next 10 years of your life. So this is a concept that me and a friend of mine, co-founder actually, I am the co-founder and we have the founder Reggie Waterman, discussed about 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago now, where we're like, okay, we want to build a community where we can bring people together and network and talk about things that they've always wanted to do, but they just don't know how to take that next step.
mhm,
So what we've done is we've created events, and let's say quarterly events, where they come together and they discuss their ideas, their need for, let's say, rebuilding a relationship, their need for health, wellness, you name it. These are all things that they want to change for the next 10 years of their life. And
mhm,
what we do is we bring that community together and we discuss ways that we can actually make that impact and how they can get it done. In these sessions, what we do is we actually have breakthrough sessions, of what we call them. So we have people come and then we break them off into groups of 10, 15, what have you. And then we ask them thought-provoking questions like, okay, what does the next 10 years of your life look like? And what can we do to help you get to those next 10? Right?
mhm,
So we ask those questions, we make them think and dig deep and find out, okay, what can you do in order to take the first steps to get to the next 10 years of your life? So it's a community that where we bring like-minded people together to get them to kind of break through, get out of the norm and break through. It, like I said, it doesn't have to be somebody wants to be an entrepreneur. It could be somebody that looking to make a career change. It could be somebody that's looking to get into health and wellness, somebody looking to get into fitness. It doesn't matter. It could be even somebody that wants to build a better relationship with their family and friends. These are all things that are going to make you feel better, make you feel happy within the next 10 years. Right. So we
mhm.
want to get you started from now on that journey. And that's what Next 10 Life is about.
Awesome. And so the next 10 is
Mhm.
happening on April 25th.
That's correct. April
Yes.
25th
Yep.
at Workplace One.
Yeah,
So
at 6.
we're hoping to get a lot more people. The last couple events have been awesome, and we're hoping to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, it has been awesome. I want to say, if you are in the Toronto area, I know that there are some that are watching that are. Um, so just reach out to myself or Kareem, and we can help you. It's gonna be awesome. Trust me. This will be the third one that's happening in person. I attended the first one, and I knew from then that I wanted to be part of it.
Awesome.
So now I'm one of the breakthrough facilitators. So come on in,
Absolutely.
join us. Um, you won't regret it. So
Absolutely.
let's say hello to some people that are watching. We have Forrest. Hello, Forrest. He is originally from the States but lives in Canada. So nice to have you here. And we have my friend Jamie. Um, Jamie says, oh my word. Jamie says, good morning, Inga and friends. Thanks so much for the invite. It's a pleasure, Jamie. Thank you. I'm laughing because a friend of mine is watching
Mhm.
and she texted me. But let me first say hello to her. Hello, Katie. She says, good morning, my Friday gang, TGIF. So, just so you know, on this show, we have a running joke about um, meeting virtually. And we always joke about whether someone is wearing pants or not. So, yeah, my friend just texted me saying, I wonder if he's wearing pants.
Oh my God.
So, yeah,
Yes, I'm wearing pants. I'm wearing my jogging pants. Yes.
we have a friend that often he wears, it's business on top and casual
Yeah,
at the bottom.
casual at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
funny.
my goodness. I wanna
Oh man.
there are some comments on here that that are not populating
Okay.
on screen. So I want to say also good morning to Laura Morlando. She says happy Friday, Inga and everyone. Excited to learn about and from you, Kareem. And she says she loves the next 10 concept. Thank you for
Awesome.
sharing.
Awesome.
Laura actually is she's the founder of Down and Dirty Networking.
Okay.
And it's, but she is not here. She's in, I think she's in Texas. So, but maybe she could be part of our virtual events that
Wait,
happen.
wait. Sorry. So what's that? Down and dirty?
Down and Dirty Networking.
Okay. I need to hear some more about down and dirty networking. Sounds kinky.
No, it's not. Oh my
Oh
goodness. And Katie says manufacturing is in the house. Yes. Katie is the manufacturing hype girl. And she says it's not that dirty. It was
man.
it was swimsuit season. I love that. Also, we have Forrest says that he's actually wearing jeans today. Thanks, Forrest. Oh my gosh. So Kareem, jokes aside,
Hmm.
um, tell us, this is inspiration from Angus. So can you tell us what inspires you?
Hmm. Good question. What inspires me? Okay. Aside from my children, because that's usually a default answer for a lot of people and that have kids.
Mhm.
But I'll go like first and foremost, those kids are definitely my inspiration. But to go a little bit deeper in terms of what inspires me, I'd have to say is just seeing an end result. I do love the journey. I do love hitting milestones, and I do love the goals. But I love seeing an end result. I can take you to like one of my workshops and where I speak with kids, and you know what, the some of the milestones you hit during the presentations is watching their interaction, is watching them, answer questions, watching them present.
Mm,
The end goal of that is when I leave and them thanking me and them sending me testimonials.
mm,
That is something that really inspires me because it's like, okay, you know what, that pushes me for the next one, is like, okay, you know what, that was awesome. It gave me a feeling where it's hard to duplicate how that
mm,
felt.
mm,
Just to know that I was able to actually make an impact in that hour or hour and 15 minutes, right? Like I said, some of the milestones that you hit during the presentation is seeing them smile and nod their head. That's showing that they acknowledge what you're doing and what you're saying. But the
yeah,
end goal is to see that I've made an impact on them and that they enjoyed my presentation and they enjoyed what I was saying, right? And the testimonials come in, and it hits me in a place where I'm like, you know what, this makes it, everything that I've done and everything that I've said, much easier for the next time, because I'm like, they're really engaged and they really love what I'm doing. So I'd say seeing the end result of any project really
yeah.
inspires me.
I love that. I have a friend. She's not in the comments, but she will probably catch the replay. Her name is Aliana, and she actually owns a company that it's called AHA Workforce
Hmm.
Solutions,
Hmm.
because she speaks about that aha moment.
Yes.
And I can honestly say, so I have a background in teaching. I was a lecturer at a college. Um, and also I teach workshops. And I will tell
Mhm.
you that aha moment, there's nothing like it.
Yes.
You see,
100%.
when you see that, what you've said has landed, and that the light bulb just goes on. That's why my logo is all about the
Mm,
light bulb, right? It's
makes
the
sense.
inspiration. It's the inspiration. That
Absolutely.
light bulb moment. So yeah, I love that. Oh my word. Um, okay, let me ask you another question.
Hmm.
Um, so when you think back to when you were a kid,
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably had many, but can you name one of your role models and tell us why?
Ooh, role models. So I can tell you. Okay, so here I'll give you more of a complex answer. So I never really had a role model growing up.
Mm,
Not to say that my parents weren't leaders of the household or anything of that sort, but I wouldn't say that they were role models. Did I have anybody that I looked up to? I'd have to say my older brother that I live with.
mm,
He was definitely somebody that he was somebody that I looked up to, aspired to be like. I've had a conversation on another podcast last year, 2 years ago, where I used to watch him in awe because he was able to accomplish things so easy. You know, when it came to just everyday life, man, school, work. He was a music producer. He played basketball, volleyball, weightlift. He did it all, and that was something that I aspired to be. So I would say that's somebody I definitely looked up to growing up, right?
mm,
But as I grew up older now, I started to realize that my work ethic and my habits subconsciously were given to me by my parents. So when I think back now, I'm like, okay, my parents were in fact my role models
mm,
because they
mhm,
molded me actually into the person that I am today. We as my parents came from the West Indies. They came from Jamaica, and when you have a West Indian families, when they come here, this is like a lot of immigrant families. They come and everything is work, 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 work. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of time for play. However,
mhm,
when there is time for play, they're gonna have a lot of fun, right? So when we had fun, I'm talking about we go for picnics, we go to the beach, we'd go to Jamaica, we'd take road trips to New York, Milwaukee to go see cousins. And I'm talking about we'd leave Friday night around 11 o'clock and we'd come back Sunday around 10 p.m. You understand what I
wow.
mean? And we do these little things, and these things that I never realized were big deals until you became an adult. And I was
Mm,
like, you know what? That stuff that was instilled in me, and watching, looking back at them as parents and what they did and sacrificed and how much effort they made for us, I realized that they were in fact my role models, and I only understood that as an adult because
yeah.
everything that they did for me as kids, I am doing for my kids now, and I aspire to do more because they
Mm,
instilled that subconsciously. They put that, implanted that in my brain, and I didn't even know. So
nice.
to give you that answer, I would say my parents were my role models that I realized as an adult,
Mm,
but my brother is somebody that I always looked up to growing up.
I love that. Um, I was the eldest,
Mm.
and I have two younger brothers. And I think back to when we were kids, and I remember my little brother when he was born. I actually wanted a sister.
I
And
have an idea where this is going. Okay, go on.
no, no, like I really wanted a sister because
Yeah,
I already had a brother, right?
you're right.
And I remember, so my brother and I, we're like 2 years apart, the middle one, and we would both at night, like we would be praying and saying, "Oh God, please give me a," I'm saying a sister and he says a
Yeah.
brother. And so my parents were from one city and we lived in another one.
Okay.
So we traveled. My mom and my brother and I traveled to her hometown so that she could be at home for the confinement and the birth, etc. Right? Um, and my dad he had to remain at home because he had to work. So
Mhm.
he called and he said, he called me and my brother because we were being looked after by my cousins and my aunt. And he spoke to me first and he said, "Hi Inga, you're a big sister. Mommy had the baby and it's a boy." And I
Oh
said, "Okay,
boy.
thanks." I handed the phone over.
Oh no.
I was like, "Really? Really?" And I remember thinking and asking God, like,
Hmm.
"Why, God? Why didn't you give me the sister that I wanted?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And my little brother actually just recently got married, and I will say, it was beautiful to see the camaraderie between the two of them, my
Hmm.
two brothers.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because they both in the because so my the middle brother was actually the best man of the wedding.
Okay.
And
Okay.
they both had a speech at the wedding, and in their speeches they referenced each other, you know.
Hmm.
Um, it was beautiful to see, really. And I will say, yes, I missed out then on having a
Yeah.
sister. But I've been blessed with many, um, even some that are here, watching and listening live. So everything works out and happens for a reason, right?
Absolutely. You know what? Honestly, Ingor, I thought you were gonna tell me. Yeah. So when he was a kid, I used to dress him up in dresses, and we used to play dolls together. I thought that's where we were going. Okay, but it took a different turn. But I'm good with it. Okay. All right. No, I swear we were going like we used to play doll and tea together, and I used to dress him up in dresses and do his hair. Okay. Okay. All right. No, that works. That works. You didn't torture him. That's good.
No, 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 I didn't.
That's
Let's just go to the comments quickly. Oh my good. So Katie says she's referring to YouTube shorts and not regular shorts.
Katie's a comedian.
Aliana says, "Happy Friday, everyone. I spoke about you, Aliana. I'm not, oh yeah, she did see it. She says, I do wear pants every day." Veronica says that sounds interesting. And Aliana says, "Thanks for the shout out. AHA Workforce Education Solutions." You're
Awesome.
welcome.
Awesome.
Veronica is also saying, "Oh, I need to come and visit Canada." Yes, come. Veronica is actually also from Africa. She's
Nice.
from Namibia. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and
Nice.
close to the city of my birth and heart, which is Cape Town. And that's what you
Okay.
see, the mountain over there. It's in Cape Town.
Hmm. Okay.
So, Kareem, before I started my show,
Hmm.
I I used to have quite a lot of people reaching out to me saying, "Oh, let's come on my show, come and talk on my show," and I'd be like, "Hell no,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
what," you know. And of course, since then I've changed that, but
Hmm.
it's really like if you're watching and you've seen my intro video, that is really how I feel. I hate videos. And the way that I overcome it when I'm doing my show, is I focus on my guest.
Okay.
Um, yeah, because I'm hypercritical of myself, and I think most people are.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's how I overcome it. It's just I focus on my guest and the audience.
Makes sense.
But you know, when I was during that period when I was being asked to be on a lot of shows before I did this live show, um, I had I had a friend reach out to me and he was wanting me to be on his show, and I kept saying no, give me some more time, and he would come back every time, and eventually I said yes. And then he said, "Okay, since you said yes, I will do you a solid and give you the questions beforehand." So that's why I do
Okay.
that for my
Yeah.
guests. And he said to me, one of the questions that he asked me, I sat there and I thought, what? Like, I don't even know how to answer this question. Um,
Hmm.
and I do ask it.
Okay.
So the question is, what is your life statement?
My life statement. Ah, that's actually an easy one.
Oh,
Cry now, laugh later.
oh,
So it deals with delayed gratification. Okay, so when I say cry now, laugh later, that means if there's something that you want, work hard for it, deal
Mm,
with the pain, deal with the suffering, tears, what have you, and you'll eventually achieve it. Right? What a lot of people are doing, or what a lot of I've seen in the past, where people go and get it and then they figure it out later. But my motto is delayed gratification: is you work hard for it. If you have a goal, you work for it as much as possible, then you get it with no regrets. And what I've noticed is that when you do work hard for something and then you achieve it, you appreciate it more.
mm,
Right? So
yes.
instead of me going out and, let's say I wanted something for $200 pair of shoes, I want to make sure that I have a certain amount saved up where I can buy that pair of shoes and there's no regret after. I don't have to put it on my credit card and then I have to figure out a way to make $200. I get $300, buy the $200 pair of shoes, and I have $100 left over. That's my delayed gratification.
Mm.
Right? Work for it now, and then you get it and you appreciate it more. So that's my thing.
I feel like in today's world, that's not very common. People expect instant gratification. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, when I first moved to Canada,
Hmm.
I remember saying to my husband, like, oh, I can't find this in the store. I can't find that in the store. And he says, oh, it's because he's like, what do you want to make? And I told him. And then he says, oh, it's because they already have this product available. You can buy it and,
Yeah.
bake it. And I said, that's so weird to me. Like, why? I want
Yeah.
the ingredients.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you appreciate it more once you've worked for it. You put some more effort into it, right? And you notice with a lot of people that when they do get something handed to them, I don't know if it's a generational thing, I don't know if it's what it is, but they don't appreciate it.
Mm,
They get it and they're like, I'm over it. It's like a kid with a new toy.
yeah.
They don't work for it. They get it as a gift. They play with it for a week and then they're over it.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas I've even seen this with my kids, where if you give them, let's say, give them $20 and for them, and you can say, okay, go ahead and buy something. They're gonna buy something that they want. And when it's their own money,
Yeah.
especially if they have to do chores for the money or do whatever they have to do for the money, they'll appreciate it more.
Yeah.
They're not just gonna go and buy a little trinket from Dollarama. They're gonna make sure they spend the money on something that they want, and when they get it, they're gonna appreciate it. And I've
Yeah.
seen this with my own two eyes, and that's delayed gratification showing itself right there, because they're like, okay, I have to work for this $20, and I know once I spend this $20, unfortunately, another $20 is not gonna pop up in my pocket. I'm gonna appreciate whatever I get.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, listen, they're not gonna have it for a year or so. Yeah, it might be another 3-4 weeks, but it's longer than what it usually is because they know this is their own money that they worked hard for.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have so it's not populating on in StreamYard, but I can see that Mr. Waterman is watching.
Mm.
He says, yes, Kareen and Inga. Awesome to have you here, Reggie. Thank you for popping in. Um, and by the way, Laura is answering. She was answering what you said. She says, I'm happy to share. Down and dirty networking is 100% relational. No,
Okay.
no fluff, no pitch snapping, simply meaningful connections to co-elevate, collaborate, and connect.
Awesome. No fluffing.
Beautiful.
Okay, that's good. As long as there's no
No
fluffing.
fluff, no BS, right? Thank you, Laura. So Kareem,
Yeah.
uh, what is your take on networking? I know you shared that you've been in business for some time, and we know that businesses cannot survive without networking.
Absolutely.
So, what is your take? Like, what do you do?
So, so with networking with me, I can say honestly, I am not the best person when it comes to networking. I've always been kind of what's the word I can use? I've always been someone that's extremely independent to a fault.
Mm,
You understand? I try and do everything on my own,
mm,
which is and you know what? And in these next 10 sessions, and because I was a facilitator at the last one as well, I had to actually tell some of the next tenors, listen, you're not going to get any extra points by doing things by yourself.
yeah,
You're not going to win any extra prizes.
yeah,
You get what I'm saying? Like you're not going to be any cooler. You just might be slowing yourself down. So don't be scared to network, right? And
mhm,
that's something. And as I was telling them, I was actually saying this to myself because, like I said, I'm independent to a fault. Now, I can use an example.
yeah. Go
A
on.
couple months back, like I told you, I was doing the workshops with the kids,
Hmm.
and it just so happened I reached out to somebody that I did a workshop for last year, and I was like, "Hey, listen, I want to start a program coming summer. I was hoping that if you know of anybody that has any spaces available where I can run this program, here's the gist of it. Would you be able to just help me out or send me their contact?" So what happened with that is because of the fact that I took my pride aside and I reached out to him, a different opportunity came up. And that's when he had me present to his school. I didn't ask him to present at his school. It was for something totally different. But he had me come in and present to his school. And then that
Yeah,
led to another opportunity. And then that led to another opportunity. You get
yeah,
what I mean? So, like I said, push your pride aside because networking is so important. It's so important, even in the workforce these days. I've actually saw something on Instagram the other day where pre-pandemic, a lot of hiring managers were getting, I would say, they said about 400 resumes, let's say a month, right?
hmm,
Post-pandemic, they're getting close to 4,000 resumes. This is from one HR manager. And
wow,
what he said in this same post was that the people that the resumes are getting pushed forward are the people that are networking. These are people that, let's say, I know Mike in sales, and Mike in sales brings the resume to HR. Those are the people that are getting looks because they're networking.
yeah,
You understand? You have to talk to people.
yeah,
And like I said, with my situation, I asked for one thing and I got three other things.
nice.
Right, so that's the importance of networking.
I
You
love it.
always want to see if you can connect with people, and sometimes it may not even be about you. Sometimes you just want to connect others with other people because you see an opportunity there.
Yeah,
Right, like I'm a huge connector. As funny as it is, I'm a huge connector, but I don't like to reach out and ask people for favors. You get what I mean? But I would, if you ask me for something, I'll be more than happy to get it for you or find someone that can get it for you.
yeah.
And it's super important.
It reminds me of something that has been brought up to my attention for the last, I think, probably 3 or 4 weeks. And that is, you have not because you ask not.
Absolutely. Closed mouths don't get fed.
Nope, absolutely.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Closed
Um,
mouths don't get fed.
wow. Yeah.
Hmm.
Here's one of my favorite quotes about networking. It's by Michelle Janae, and she says that networking is not about just connecting people. It's about connecting people with people, people with ideas, and people with opportunities.
Absolutely.
And that is really the truth, the truth of the matter. Because I can tell you, since I opened myself up to do more networking, I have really been it's almost like I can say like I've been 10xed
Mm.
because
Yeah.
I was this person, and then because of networking, I had how it started before I had shows. Um, a friend of mine I met on LinkedIn, so because I started doing being more active on LinkedIn, I met somebody. And he sent me a message and he said, "You know what? You and I should host a clubhouse room.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, that's a good idea. And you know what? He didn't wait for me. He just scheduled the room and sent me the thing and said,
Yeah.
here we go. Here's the room. We're meeting on Saturday at 8 p.m. And I was like, really? How
Yeah.
how could you do that?
Yeah.
You know?
You
Uh,
thought you were gonna get away with it. You thought it was just like, yeah, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Sure, why not? Lo and
yeah.
behold.
Because like I'll be honest, like I had no freaking clue how to host a clubhouse
Yeah.
room. And this guy, his name is Jonathan. He probably knew that, but he
Mm.
also knew that I would not learn unless I dove right in.
Took you out
And
of your
that
comfort zone.
he did.
Yes.
Honestly, I was extremely uncomfortable. You know what he used to do? Um, he would schedule the room and then he would travel from one one city to another. It would take him about 2 hours,
Yeah.
and he would make sure that he's traveling during the time of our clubhouse room. So,
Wow.
and what would happen is he would lose connectivity, and then I would just have to take over.
Yes,
Oh
that
my
is funny.
The amount of times that I would panic, I'd be like, "Oh crap, Jonathan, are you there?" And Jonathan is nowhere.
Yeah.
I just had to do it. I had to do it because now there were lots of people in our room, and yeah, I had to just come in there
Yeah.
and moderate the room, right? So,
Yeah.
and that's really one thing that I've learned on my journey, because I've since launched. This is actually the first show that I ever launched, but
Mhm.
I have hosted 3 shows in total. I
Awesome.
only have 2 running right now. The other one is put on hold, and I'm not sure that we will revive it because it was
Mhm.
with 4 other people. But something that I've learned, and I've become an author, a speaker, if you name it, I'm doing it. And
Mm.
I will tell you the thing that I learned, that the biggest lesson for me is that you will never be ready.
Yeah. Agreed.
You need to jump right in and learn while you're doing it. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep on planning and keep on tweaking and keep on,
Mm.
trying to refine things because we want to be. And I don't think it's just people that are perfectionists. I think it's everyone, because you want to make sure that you are well received, that you put together, etc., etc., right? And yeah, we'll just keep on doing it. We'll just you know I published a book, and a friend of mine, she's also an author, she said to me, why don't you really talk about your book? And I said, well, because there's an error in the book.
Yeah.
After I went through it and I had other people proofreading as well. There's an error, and she asked me what the error was, and I told her, and it's a bracket that's missing.
Yeah. That's it.
That's what's
That's
missing.
it.
But I don't talk about it. And she said, do you know how many authors actually publish books and actually have grammatical and spelling errors
Mhm.
in their books, but they don't care. They just keep going because,
Right.
hey, they published a book and then they'll just do another one. So, you know,
So
on
let me jump on this, Inger,
yes,
because it's funny. I had this conversation the other day. Now, years ago, I used to work for an energy company. Okay. And so this energy company was run by a lot of like entrepreneurs, guys that are just investing in the company. And the people that were under them were a bunch of like 20 somethings, 20 something year olds. Now, what I noticed, and it was a huge life lesson when I worked there, and I only realized this after, I should say, is that they would take on huge projects, all like the top execs and VPs and stuff. They take on huge projects and they would pass it down to us. You understand? So they would have no idea what they're doing. They'd know the gist of it, but they pass it down to someone like me or the compliance person or the HR or quality assurance and have them deal with it and have them build their own team. Now, as a 20 something, you're more than happy to take on this project because what? First, it builds your resume and
yes,
it gives you experience, right? Now, what we do is that we build these projects and then we take it to the VP, and the VP like, no, we got to tweak this, we got to work that, we got to do this. We go
mhm,
back and fix it, tweak it. However, during that time period, they would launch whatever they need to launch, and they would fix it along the way, right? So you understand what I'm getting at? Is that It doesn't have to be perfect. And
No.
some of the top people in the world, some of the top people in Canada, some of the top people in Toronto, they understand that. Throw it out there, and then we'll fix it along the way. And I
Yeah.
and I and I realized that probably a decade and a half later that, you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. I
No.
had so many ideas that I've written down, created project plans, business plans for, and I'm like, there's 25 reasons why I can't do this. Instead of thinking of there's a million reasons why I can,
Yes.
right?
That's
So it's a half empty, half full type of situation,
yeah.
right? Jump
Yeah.
into it and figure it out along the way. That's kind of, you know what, I should make that my new motto. Jump into it, figure it out along the way. Because
Yeah.
that's what a lot of them do.
Yeah. And
Don't
I
be
will
scared to make mistakes.
Yeah, this also ties into the conversation that I had with Reggie on Wednesday.
Hmm.
We were speaking about a limitless mindset.
Hmm.
And one thing that we highlighted was that we create the limits
Absolutely.
for ourselves. So we need to get out of our own way, really.
Hmm.
Right?
Absolutely. And the thing is that, like you said, not all of us are perfectionists, but a lot of us like to kind of write down and think of all the steps, do a SWOT analysis. What are
Yeah.
the strengths? What are the weaknesses? So on and so forth. And then we overthink it.
Yeah.
And then we kind of create this plan as a way to like talk ourselves out of doing it.
Yeah.
You get what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we're literally writing down reasons why we should not do this.
You're right. You're right.
Just go in, and then we'll figure it out along the way. If you fail, you fail,
Yeah.
right? If you didn't learn anything through that failure, then you didn't do it properly.
And I think one thing that we need to highlight is that failure is actually part of success.
Absolutely.
Right? So when the light bulb was created, do you know how many times he tried and tried and tried? Yeah,
Yeah.
almost. He actually succeeded on the 1000th time. I think
Yes.
that speaks of tenacity and
Hmm.
resilience at its
Hmm.
best. And I feel like, in this day and age, many of us just, we give up.
Hmm.
We give up too soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I
I can
agree.
see that there's a lot of people listening and watching on LinkedIn. Um, Drop us your comments. Let us know if you want to be part of the conversation. If there's anything that you want to add to what we're saying here, please. Um, I also see some comments that are not populating again, but Laura said this. She says that island of alone is heavily populated, and relational networking is that life raft off the island.
Mm,
Beautiful.
that's
Thank
amazing.
you.
I like that. That's amazing.
And And she highlights something that you said. She says, "You are so right, Kareem. Asking for help takes strength."
Hmm. Hmm.
She also says, "It feels good to give, so allow someone the opportunity to feel good by asking for help."
You
Oh,
know what? So, okay, just a little quick tidbit before you go on to the next comment. So, like I said, I told you earlier, I'm getting into the cybersecurity world, right? Like I've done a couple courses, gotten certified in it, and I've just been talking to people about it. And the amount of people that, oddly enough, are in the cybersecurity world, like how many numbers I've gotten, how many VPs in certain areas I've talked to, because they're just more than willing to help. Some people jump at that opportunity to help you, right? And you'll never know until you talk and ask and just inquire about what they do. And you
yes,
tell them, hey, this is what I'm looking to get into. Oh,
yeah,
really? Oh, I know somebody that does this. Hold on, give me a second. Let me get your number. So, and then it goes on from there. And you'd be surprised how many people that you wouldn't even expect to
yeah,
just want to just even engage and talk and just help you out for whatever reason. You don't know them from anywhere, but
yeah,
they just want to help. Yeah.
yeah.
So the more you talk, the more you'll find that out.
Beautiful. I want to say actually, when you and I, after you told me about cybersecurity, we dove right into this. And by the way, I do know someone that lives here in Toronto,
Mm-hmm.
owns a cybersecurity firm. So
Okay.
I'll connect you with him. Maybe
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
Awesome. Let me just see what. Ooh. So, Aliana says, my brain is always filled with dreams. I rock with the ones that tug my soul the most. They're my dreams, so they are not going anywhere. I
Mm,
love it.
yeah.
And by the way, Aliana is talking about coming to Toronto and hosting something here for Workforce Solutions.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna brainstorm probably in the next week or two and see where like what that means and what
Hmm.
that looks like for us.
That could be another connection right there, especially with us in next 10, right?
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. Um, Katie says cybersecurity and she tagged someone. So definitely go to the comments afterwards, Kareem, and speak to Diana Mooring. Um, I know that when Katie gives me a lead, you better follow it.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Let me just check that we haven't missed anything. Um, and we need to look at wrapping up soon.
Okay.
We're approaching the hour. But
Okay.
oh, Laura says yes, Kareem. Planning to do is failure to start and make
Hmm.
impact. Get
Very true.
to doing. Get to doing.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
I love that, Laura. Wow. I'm gonna definitely I need to get that. I think I need to put that on my wall.
Hmm.
To doing.
Absolutely. You know what? Sometimes we write down what we need to do as a way of avoiding what we need to do. You get
Mm.
what I'm saying? So we'll write it down. Oh, I need to do this, 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 and you'll continue to write down things that you need to do to avoid getting started on what you need to do.
Oh my gosh. That's true. We
Yeah,
procrastinate.
I,
Procrastinate.
I've done it myself. I've done it. I've created more tasks because I just didn't want to get started on what I need to get started on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. Katie says, uh, she says that Diana Mooring blew her mind with her cybersecurity info, and so Katie works for M&I, so
Okay.
Manufacturing News Inc.
Hmm.
And they help with connecting buyers and sellers in the manufacturing world.
Okay.
Katie, I hope I got that right, and correct me if I'm wrong. Um, but Katie actually, she has been hosting something called for the past 2 years. So Manufacturing Day is in October. So for the month of October, she celebrates Manufacturing Month and
Okay.
has been getting her friends to offer classes as a free resource for manufacturers.
Mm.
Um, so she actually, but this year, she's not just doing it in October, it's for the full year.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm planning to teach a class soon. We just need to get a date down, but yeah.
Nice.
She says also, she says, "Hey, what about those of us who are chronic planners and doctors?" She's asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Uh,
And Ileana says, Kareem, we have a cybersecurity DOL apprenticeship looking for employers. So let's get the party started.
cool.
Love it.
Cool.
Katie says, no, I write it down to commit it to memory and to be sure I don't forget to do it. I love you, Katie. She says, Manufacturers News Inc. connecting buyers and sellers in manufacturing. Great job, Inga. Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's get to the one of the final questions. So how do you leverage a platform such as LinkedIn or networking groups?
How
What
do
do
I leverage it?
mhm. do you have
Oh,
do you have a system or do you have an approach that you use? You might not be using LinkedIn the way that that you could to its fullest potential, but like, do you use a different platform?
so I not LinkedIn. I'm not really heavy on LinkedIn, but I'm more of a Instagram. If any social media, it would be Instagram. Just like you, Inger, I'm more, like I said, I'm a behind the scenes guy. I I just like to be behind and not in front of the camera. But if I was to do anything, it's usually through social media. It's through Instagram. So it's a lot of sending DMs. It's a lot of posting videos, stories, things of that sort. Especially with the workshops that I do. That's how a lot of the referrals came in, because a lot of times it's they yeah, networking is great, but there has to be some sort of substance behind it. There has to be something where they can kind of tie it to, like, okay, Kareem does this. Where can I go and see your work? Right. So my outlet is Instagram. Kind of showcase what I do, showcase when I'm actually in these workshops, conducting them, talking to the kids, showing them how AI works, and just going through my presentations. A lot of times sometimes getting their reactions, the kids' reactions, because these are all things where if you can't be present in the actual presentation itself, I try and capture as much as I can in
Mm,
that moment so the audience can see what kind of impact I'm trying to have on these kids. So
mm.
social media wise, I would say Instagram is my go-to.
I love that. So let me ask a question for me.
Mm.
I'm not asking for a friend. I have, there's a lot that I do, right?
Mm.
And like on a daily basis, right? Because I'm a business coach. Um, I'm a show host. I'm a radio presenter. So do I go with one focus for Instagram, or can I showcase everything about who I am? What do you think is the best way?
I think you should go with what you're comfortable with. I can tell you there's a lot of people that I know that are not social media heavy, and they're doing great things. They may have one post every couple weeks or once every couple months, but when you meet with them in person, they'll tell you all the things that they're doing, right? It's because they're making their presence felt personally in person. They make themselves tangible,
Mm,
right? Um, so it's whatever you feel comfortable with. Would be my advice. I'm comfortable with Instagram. I'm becoming more comfortable taking selfies and doing videos of myself. So I'm upping that because I feel that in the with the workshop facilities, I love it to death.
yeah,
Like I told you earlier, it's something I have a passion for, and it's great when the audience can see how I feel and how I'm interacting with the kids when I do it. So the only way for that, like I said, if you're not present to see how I'm performing, is to take these videos of myself.
yeah,
But for you, is do whatever you feel comfortable with. If LinkedIn is where you feel your go-to is, I would say stick with it,
yeah.
because there's a lot of people that don't have social media or not don't have a social media presence and are doing big things.
Mm,
Get what I mean? So
yeah,
do what you feel you're comfortable with, and just continue to make yourself tangible and be seen in other ways. Go to events, go and talk to people, DM people, email blasts, what have you. Whatever you feel works best for you, continue to do that.
awesome. Thank you. I think it's all about that KLT, right?
Hmm.
Know, like, trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's go to the comments quickly. So Katie says, my post-it note hoard is offended, Kareem.
I just picturing Katie's room with just yellow post-it notes all over the
She has
place.
all colors, actually. She does.
She's like, wait a minute, this one's from 1920, 1975. Oh, I should take this one down. I've
No,
already passed this one.
she so she uses them, but she has lots of colors like together, like in stacks.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man.
And she says, for her, Instagram is for the personal side,
Mm,
behind the scenes. The Inga in the inspiration, the Inga in the we got this. Less business, more personal.
mm.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. We'll talk about that another time. She says,
Yellows
"Yep,
for April.
yes, for April. I love it. I love it." Um, so Kareem, we are wrapping up. Let me ask you. Oh my gosh, sorry. Let me just tell you what she says here. She says there were no post-its in 19. Oh my gosh,
Uh,
it's hilarious. So, what what are your final thoughts on networking, Kareem? Before
uh,
you leave us?
it's important. It's absolutely important. Like I said, one networking opportunity turned into, or one networking reach out turned into three different opportunities for me. Um, it's super important because, as we discussed a few minutes ago, you never know who can help you, and you don't understand and realize how much people are willing to help you when you ask. Like I said, it's something where you have to put your pride aside and become vulnerable and ask for help, or see if somebody can help you out, or connect you with somebody else.
Mhm,
The amount of opportunities that can be created from these networking situations are endless. I
mhm,
actually know a guy that networks through the roof. Like he knows any and everybody. And we always say that this guy is one networking opportunity away from just going above and beyond everything he imagined,
yeah,
right? So you
yeah,
just got to keep doing it. Keep
yeah,
plugging away. You're gonna meet that one person or come across that one opportunity that's gonna change things for you,
yeah,
right? And some all it takes is that one situation, that one perfect opportunity, and it
yeah,
becomes a snowball effect, and it just keeps going and building and building and building, and
yeah,
then you're good to go from there.
yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Where can people find you if they'd like to connect?
Ooh, you can find me at next10.life. You can find me at Kids Point of View Books on Instagram. So those are both my Instagram handles.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kareem, for an amazing conversation. I'm gonna send you to the green room if you can wait there for me for a few minutes. I
No
just want to
problem.
wrap up the show.
No
I'll
problem.
see.
Thank you, Inger. That hour went by super quick.
It did. It
It
did.
did. Thank you. I appreciate you, Inger.
It's a pleasure. Thank
Thank
you. And thank you if you're still here watching and spending time with us. I want to just look at the comments. Liana says, I used to order sticky notes by bulk. Oh my goodness. And Jamie says, thank you both so very much. Great morning conversation. And Katie's laughing, probably at the bulk comment. But I want to remind you of one of my favorite African proverbs, and that is, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Remember, networking is very important, especially as an entrepreneur, because community builds us up. So make sure you connect. And if you're watching live, if you're watching, catching the replay, connect with those that were in the comments as well. Trust me, these are your people because we are heart centered here, and that's the way to be. Make it an amazing rest of your Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you back here next week for another episode of Inspiration from Inga. Goodbye, and God bless you.